Welcome to Money Convos, where we discuss personal finance and investment tips. We're committed to helping people create wealth and achieve financial freedom. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. All right then, let's head into today's conversation.
Hi David, how you doing?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you here. Lately you've been busy, Charlie.
Oh,
Making all the money
Master,
in the world.
I hear. Last week, the energy say me booster no and no came out a crabby, but now I'm back.
Oh, sure. Nice. Welcome back.
Let's make some money today.
Thank you. Looking forward to that. Okay. Waiting to see more people. What is Mimi? But anyway, how's your year going so far?
So far so good. We've had a few snowfalls. We're expecting one tonight. But work-wise, there it's picked up slowly. It was a little bit busy because I was out almost half of December, so I am gradually digging out of all the work that I had. But so far, so good.
Okay, that's great. Hi Jennifer, hi Kate, hi Prince, how you all doing?
Hi, Elikem. Hi, Elikem.
Hello.
Hello, Elikem.
Prince's energy is contagious.
Hey, Elikem.
He has gotten eight hampers in his office. That is why.
Okay, that's why.
Elikem, I have some serious wine for you.
Is it?
Serious what? I didn't hear it well.
Wine.
Wine.
I heard wine.
Please. Send me the location and I'll be right there.
Okay. Then what I'll do is that I will let you pick it at the office. Okay.
All right.
That will help. Jennifer, do you have anything for us? Yeah.
There's something that's echoing.
Okay, I think Prince, are you using your phone speaker or you're using earpiece?
No, I'm using my phone speaker.
I'm using a headset.
Okay. Because I think the feedback is coming from Prince's end.
Okay, then
actually you're not booming it from your whole neighborhood to hear you.
Is it better?
But Prince.
Yes, it's better now. Yes.
Okay.
Me, I want chocolates. So if there's chocolates, Elikem can pick. Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll let Elikem pick your chocolate too in addition to the wine.
Now we'll pay chocolate. I want to mommy.
I'm pushing your gift. I'm
afraid ask Paulina will see. I'm afraid Oh,
thank
Paulina.
you very much, Prince.
You're welcome, Jennifer. You're welcome.
Okay, great.
I'm really excited to today's topic.
You know, Charlie, we've got a pro in our midst. You know how when you go for these church events, there is when they are introducing the guest speaker, there's this funny mate. Then he's sitting somewhere with clap his hand in front of him and he's just looking serious as they are introducing him. He's a powerful man of God, a father of two, with a very beautiful wife, a very illustrious man. He's filled with the Spirit. Charlie, then they are giving the vibes, and the church is going woo woo woo. Then the man is just sitting there looking so serious, and that is Kate. So please join me. Welcome Kate to our room. Hi Kate, how you doing?
Hello. Vibes EDM Pacho.
I've not even started giving the vibes. I was waiting for Mimi to come for Mimi to give us the vibes. So you hold on 1 second. Mimi, please, welcome to the room. Why don't you welcome Kate for us?
Hello everyone, good evening. I would like to welcome Kate. Thank you so much for accepting to join us today to talk about one of the complicated investment options, cryptocurrency. Kurt is sharp. In fact, I found him here on Clubhouse. I entered his room, and the way he broke things down so smoothly, I was like, nah, he needs to, feature here. So, welcome, Kurt. I'm sure he'll do the rest of the introduction. Take care.
Wow, we are honored. David, were you going to say something?
No, I just wanted to mute my mic so I don't create any feedback. But
Yeah, I
Kurt,
know, right?
welcome. I am ready to listen, man. I got my ears cleaned out just for you.
Wow, nice, nice.
Okay, thank you very much, Ali Kem, Mimi, everyone here in the room. Yeah, it's just an honor to be part of you guys. I never knew there was a bit like there was a room like this, Money Convo, because money runs everything now in this world. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm here for good. I think Mimi joined my room the other time, and I think I was talking about blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and she sent me an invite to come talk here. So basically, that's why I'm here. My name is Nanayao Kurt. Also, I'm into aviation. I'm into money. I'm into crypto. I'm into tourism. I'm into agric, a whole lot. But I think today's topic is centered on cryptocurrencies, creating wealth. That's the thing. So I don't know if this is going to be a question answer kind of talk, or I'm just going to go, maybe random about, cryptocurrencies. I don't know how you guys would want it, if there are questions actually, planned out for me, or I could just, do popcorn style.
Okay, so we usually do it a question and answer thing, but I guess we would allow you to go on with you called it a popcorn style. Yes, we will allow you to go on and then chip in our questions in between what your submissions. So I think that would be great.
Oh,
So, yeah. So, would you like to get us started with what's cryptocurrencies? And perhaps if you could separate cryptocurrencies from blockchain, like make the two definitions clear for us. Because I know cryptocurrencies, or from what I've heard, I'm no expert in this, but from what I've heard, it's crypto is falls under blockchain. So, these are some of the things that we want to clarify today. So, please, the floor is yours. Take us away.
okay, that's fine. Thank you very much, Elikem. So I'll begin by saying the technology on which cryptocurrencies run on is what we call the blockchain. Without the blockchain, there's no cryptocurrencies. It's actually the technology that we it's so powerful because of what it does. And what blockchain actually does is it takes away anything which has to do with the middleman. Let me give an example. I think I was citing this example in my room the other time, saying, let's take a land litigation system here. Imagine buying a plot of land in Ghana, and you one day go to the plot of land, and some people show up claiming it's theirs, and they bring land guards, they fight you, and then you only go to Lands Commission to find out that someone paid someone something to change the deeds of the land, and you don't have enough money to fight your battles in the court, and then you just let go. This actually happened because there was a centralized body in there who decided to be corrupt and was able to change the deeds. But when you come to blockchain, for now, let's look at it as kind of like a technology or a system where everything is a peer-to-peer network. You deal directly with it's a two-party, there's no middleman. So imagine we plotting let's say the whole Ghana, the whole map system on a blockchain, where you deal with the blockchain, you buy your land on the blockchain, it maps out for you, this is yours. And you don't have to deal with a centralized body such as the Lands Commission. The reason why it's powerful is you cannot tamper it, you cannot change anything on it. And everyone in this world can verify who owns what on the blockchain. So if someone comes on your land and then, someone goes on the blockchain, they can verify that, oh, this piece of plot whatsoever belongs to party A. So it does away with what we called the centralized system. So I'm sure most of you have been hearing DeFi, DeFi, DeFi. There are so many jargons in there. DeFi is basically decentralized finance. Now, when it comes to finance as well, we are all aware that the banking system serves as, an intermediary when it comes to remittances and other financial, capitals. To send your money overseas to, let's say, Malaysia or wherever in the world, they would have to take a piece of it because they are the ones sending it. And that piece is actually huge at times. Imagine someone sending money overseas to you, say like $1,000. I think somewhere in the Philippines, they probably can take 10 to 15% of the money you're sending. So just imagine like you're sending money every month to your grandmom who is, in Africa, $1,000, and let's say they are taking $100 every month for some. I don't see any form of value they have created. It's kind of like a rip-off some way, somehow. That's happening in the current financial system. So now when it comes to blockchain and then with the cryptocurrencies, what happens is there's a direct peer-to-peer transaction happening. If I'm sending $1,000 to, let's say, my mom in Africa, you're basically charged less than $1. The person gets almost 99.9% of the money. Now, this is something which is like wonderful for us to think of. And then another aspect has to do with the fact that it's a 247. Imagine sending huge sums of amount of money through the bank. One, you'd have to deal with KYC. KYC is knowing your customer. They would have to verify who you are. They have to know why you're sending the money. At times, they even ask you so many questions before you send. Look at the fact that they don't also even operate, during the weekends. So there are so many limitations when it comes to the traditional, finance. And another challenge, we are having in the financial industry has to do with the fact that it is not available for everyone. Think of it this way. I think Africa currently has close to 20% of people who only have bank accounts. About 80% don't have access to these financial capitals. But on the flip side, when you flip it, 80% of, people have mobile phones. So now the cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, also provide that platform where these capitals are easily accessible by, people having smartphones. You can literally, bank yourself. You can literally have, do the savings and everything, fixed deposits and everything yourself. Now, let me just talk about what blockchain is. It's basically a decentralized ledger, or that's of transactions across a peer-to-peer network. Now, what happens is it's coded. It's a technology which is coded in a way that I don't have to rely on any third party. There is nothing like trust. I don't need to trust you to send me money. Maths and algorithms and so many things come in play and they work that for you. It's actually coded in such a way that once party A fulfills this thing, party A gets it. So there's this truth. I call it does away with trust, and then there's truth. It does away with middlemen, and there are so many, advantages to the blockchain. So now a guy called Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009, I think 2008, we had a great recession in United States. People started, not trusting the financial institution. People were fed up. The governments were printing a lot of money. Like, why would you deflate, people's hard-earned money? The government can wake up one day and decide to print more of the money. And your money, the fiat currency you are holding, actually devalues. So I think the US financial system somehow, crashed. People started taking out their money, started moving into gold, real estate and everything. So this Satoshi actually came out with a way where people can actually, transact, have a peer-to-peer transaction and do away with all these middlemen. So he sat down and he wrote a white paper. The white paper is more like an article or a journal in the scientific, world for communities to come together and look at this, that it's possible to have a system where we can, have control over money. So when he did that, he termed that digital currency as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency. So he proved, how blockchains, he showed how blockchains could be used, which is secured, it's faster, it's a 247 system, and it's owned by the community. In this sense, cryptocurrencies are owned by everyone. It's not a single currency owned by a government. It's a United States as to the dollar, Ghana cedi as to the Ghana cedi. All cryptocurrencies are owned by the community, which makes it powerful. And is an asset which is digitized, and then, everyone can be a part of. Initially, when another problem is solved, is called the double spend problem. For a very long time, cryptographers and scientists and, the computer, everyone in that space had a problem with the double spend problem. Well, now when we talk about the double spend problem is, you realized when it comes to sharing folders and files and everything, you can send a folder or a music to someone on the internet and still have a copy of the music. So they were trying to find a way how you can send money to someone and that money is actually gone. It's left from your, your wallet or your account or whatever, and you won't still have it. So you realize that if it comes to a digital, anything which has to do with digital, when you send, you still have that same amount. So it became very difficult. How do we solve a problem where I send someone $2,000 over the internet and I still have that same $2,000? So that was a problem. It's called the double spend problem. So blockchain somehow solved that problem. Now, once that problem is solved, we can do what? Financial transactions on the internet. So that gave rise to, all these cryptocurrencies, and cryptocurrencies are backed by, security tools. It's called cryptographies. I can't go into details because it's really broad. What comes into mind, I'll just, drop them. So then, we then move to, what should I say? Let me talk about the transaction time. It's also fast. You can send cryptocurrency and instantly the person gets it. You don't have to process, especially with the traditional this thing. At times, they would have to reconcile their ledgers across other banks before you get your, how do you call it, your money. Now, how it works, one would ask, how do people benefit? What are some of the ways people can benefit? I'm sure most of you have heard them call other people miners. We have people who partake as miners, and then you can also partake in the transaction. So assuming I'm sending, let's say, 5 Bitcoin to Mimi, what happens is someone has to approve of the transactions. They are called validators. In the traditional banking system, you realize when you go to the bank, the teller accepts, your money. So when you come into the world of crypto, there are people who have dedicated their laptops, their machines. You need a miner. They set up rigs and they mine what we call cryptocurrencies. Being a miner means you are validating a transaction. You are basically in a real life traditional finance, this thing. You are a teller. You approve of the transaction. Anyone can be part of that validation, thing. You can also send money. So it's like it's owned. The whole system is owned by the community. And by validating, you get rewards for validating. So that's why they're called miners. They mine for cryptocurrencies. Another good thing about cryptocurrency is it has finite supply, in the sense that I'm sure most of you have heard that Bitcoin, the only amount of Bitcoin in the world is 21 million. So it's actually coded in that way, or it's done in that way to not make it deflationary. It makes it a super asset as compared to the fiat currencies where anyone can get up and then print huge amounts of money. We've had the likes of Zimbabwe, where the government ended up printing lots and lots of money, affecting their economy. When it comes to Bitcoin, you can't, like, even the one who created Bitcoin can't go back and print more of these 20, like more of the Bitcoin. It's 21 million, and once it gets exhausted, like, that's it. If you have Bitcoin, you would have to just do a peer-to-peer transaction. And it's also open source. Everyone can actually go on GitHub and then look at the codes. So everything is open. All the transactions that are happening, there are sites where you can see what is happening. Everyone has an address. You can see it's an open ledger system where you can know what is going on. As to the banks, if you're in the bank system, every ledger is kept, it's more like a secret thing. Like you can't have access. You don't know what is going on. But with crypto, you can see every transaction. You can go on a blockchain explorer and then see all your transactions you've done. The security aspect of it, it's you are identified as public addresses. You only see your public address. And then let me just mention that you have two addresses to get access to the blockchain. That's your public and then your private address. Your public address is what you send to someone if someone wants to send you money. And your private address is what you use to access your wallet. Let me put it that way. Think of it as the email. If for someone to send you an email, you send him or your email address, and then your password is kind of like the private address. So if you give access to someone, if you give your private address to someone can get access into your funds. Now, in the crypto world, because it's decentralized, it's a DeFi, and it's also unregulated, there are a lot of scams which you'd have to also look deep into the security aspect of it. You are your bank. If you lose money, you can't go and complain to anyone. You're supposed to do your due diligence, do your research, do a lot of stuff, protect your asset yourself. You are in charge. Because taking power from the banks or a centralized body comes with a lot of challenges as well. At least the banks every day they have a police standing in front of their bank. They have the security. Now, if you say you want to be in charge of your own money and have power too, it comes with a cost. You have to take good care of your funds. Once someone gets access to your private keys or your seed phrase, that's it. There are so many tips to also protect your funds. I would like to take questions. I think that would help me more to explain certain things. So if you don't mind.
Yeah, great. Okay, so we'll be thank you for the introduction that you've given to us on the blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So we'll be steering the conversation on cryptocurrencies more towards investing for people who are looking at it as an investment option. So that's the way the questions would go. So David and Prince, I see you are very eager. So let's start with David, then we'll hear from Prince.
Well, thank you very much, Kurt. Before I even ask my question, I want to say that take each of my questions as I don't know if you have kids, but your 5-year-old, right, asking you, Daddy, how does the world go round? So I am just purely learning, and that's why some of my questions, if it's too lame for your level, please forgive me. So, while you were speaking, right, you said something about mining the crypto, but then also in the same vein, you said there's a finite supply of it. So if you can go mine more, right, but yet you're saying there's a finite supply, I'm a bit confused by that. And also you prior to that, you said there's a double spend problem. Can you shed a little bit of light on the double spend problem, what that is, and then talk about the ability to mine the crypto versus it also having a finite supply? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. I think let me try and break it down. Let me take the first question. The first question has to do with mining, right? That
Yes.
the miners. Now, what happens is for you to send money from point A to point B, someone has to approve of your transaction.
Okay.
And the mining, when we have not to go. You see, one thing about cryptocurrencies is it's a little bit complicated. People find it difficult trying to explain certain things because it's a bit broad and technical. There's a concept called the proof of work. Now, what Satoshi did was he I won't sound too technical. I'll just try using analogies for you to, grasp how it works. What Satoshi did was some people have to maintain the network, and these people have to be rewarded. And you would have to sacrifice your computers. They are called nodes. You can join the network and dedicate your laptop and your power to approve of transaction. And then it's like whoever has more power and more transaction wins, the race into what approving of a transaction. And once you win, what happens is you are rewarded with bitcoins yourself. Now, that is the mining process. You are a validator. You validated the transaction happening from point A to point B. So that makes you a miner. You are partaking in that ecosystem as what? As a miner. So think of it as a miner in a bank. If it were to be a bank, a miner is a teller. The teller approved of your transaction you came to do. You wanted to deposit 2,000 Ghana cedis to AMA. So the teller does what? Computes your transaction. The same in the crypto world. A miner validates the transaction you've done, but it's a race amongst all miners, and whoever wins, depending on the power they have, they get that power and then they get rewards. Do you get it now?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah. So you become a miner in partaking in that event. So someone can still, so it's like everyone can be part of, the mining process. As far as you get the necessary requirements and you buy all those gadgets. We have the anti-miners, you need high graphics, computers and stuff. People are actually setting up rigs, people are joining pools. People come together. We have mining pools. You can join a pool and then increase your chances of winning. We call it a block. So once the rewards come, they all share.
So mining does not necessarily equate to you creating new money.
So what happens is, aside validating, what happens is it's also a way of releasing some cryptocurrency, that's Bitcoin, into the system. Now, with the 21 million I spoke about, we have 21. It's always going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever. You can't get anything more than 21 mined. Now, the 21 is to say, think of it as the government has actually only printed 21 million Ghana cedis, and that's all we have. There's not going to be any more of 21 million Ghana cedis in circulation ever. So now what Satoshi did was he actually slashed it into Satoshis. When we talk of Satoshis, is he made it the denomination so small that it's going to take a very long time to, for this amount to be, be in a space. Kind of like you can have someone can have 0.000000001 Satoshi in Bitcoin, and the value of it is very high. Because looking at it, one Bitcoin is currently, trading at 43K or so. So having a 0.005 is even a lot of money. So he programmed it in such a system that the denomination is, kind of like in decimals. I think it's about like eight or so decimals. for you to get one Satoshi. But a point will come. I think it's 2440 or something. That's when the last, Bitcoin would be mined. And a time will come you cannot mine Bitcoin. The only ways miners would probably get money would be through transaction fee. Sending money, someone has to also approve of it. I don't know if it's clear.
Yes, very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Chief.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Prince, you had a question?
Yeah, Anakin, yes. Please, thank you very much.
Prince, there's quite some feedback from your end. You did something to correct that earlier.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Unaina.
All right. So I wanted to ask Kurt that from his submission, he said that we have roughly 21 million Bitcoin to be mined, right? And I did some research, so I can be wrong, I can be right, so you can also correct me on that. I know as at today, we are having almost 18,921,237.5 million Bitcoin that is in existence. And per the research, I got to know that we have almost 900 Bitcoin that is mined per day, right? So if you do the math, you roughly can see that we have almost about 2 million Bitcoin left to be mined to hit the 21 million that he's talking about. So I wanted to know, when Bitcoin came into existence, sometimes you can go to a site and then you can, there'll be some pop-up that is in the form of they rewarding you with some Bitcoin. But during that period, we didn't have much knowledge about it. So a lot of people couldn't partake in those kind of things. So in my question is, looking at the rest of the Bitcoin that is left, and is there any way that people can still mine, as in partake of the remaining Bitcoin to also get some rewards from the Bitcoin side? That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much, Prince. With regards to the mining, it's actually a space where it's trust me that big corporate entities are actually buying huge rigs. Currently, I think China is number one when it comes to mining, and you know how Bitcoin works. Okay, let me explain the proof of work. I was saying something with regards to you have to race to win a block to approve a transaction. It's like we've all been given a race. Whoever wins has access to approve of a transaction and wins the Bitcoin because, you approved of that transaction. Now, that consensus algorithm is called the proof of work. That's a challenge, Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency has. And it wasn't lucrative because if someone has too much power, someone has a lot of gadgets to mine and win all the time, what happens to you that you have, a small setup? It's going to be very difficult for you to even win, and you still be wasting energy. So you realized even in the ecosystem, they say it's not sustainable. The energy consumption with regards to Bitcoin, as a first gen cryptocurrency. So there's also a new consensus algorithm called the proof of stake, which arisen, with the altcoins. Any coin which is not Bitcoin is called an altcoin. If you get to see anything as altcoins are alternative coins. The likes of Cardano, you have Polkadot, I'm sure you've heard of Dogecoin by now, Shiba Inu.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and then lots of them. Now, what happens with the proof of stake is now they've also created a consensus algorithm where you would have to buy their native tokens and stake to be able to partake in approving of the that's validating the network or validating a transaction. You made mention of there being remaining, I think it's now 18 point something million in circulation. The reason being is, how Satoshi, wrote the white paper was at the onset, the rewards were very high, but there's a period where the rewards actually half. I think it's every 4 years or so. So let's say way back when, let's say when you approve of a transaction, let's say you are getting 10 BTC. In 4 years, it will come to 5. And in 3 years, it will be 1 point something. So it becomes very low. So it gets to a point in time where the release of these cryptocurrencies would somehow, it diminishes, progressively. So you'd realize that although we are 18 million of these cryptocurrencies are in circulation, it will take a very long time before all the rest of the cryptocurrencies are released. Because now the rewards, in validating becomes, reduces every 4 years, which makes it, very small. But somehow the prices also skyrocket. So in a couple of years, maybe one BTC was around $1,000. Now one BTC is around 42K as of now. Somewhere last month, they shot to it $69,000. So that's still money in a way for the mining community. Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense. When it comes to it's easier when I'm with my slides trying to demonstrate, because at times explaining these consensus algorithm and these it becomes very complicated. I think I have Heather here who who took part in my classes and was able to grasp the whole thing. So I think someday I would set up a class and then with slides get to explain it for you to understand better, especially with the technicalities. But I know a lot of people are interested in investing, which I could dive into that if questions are to come around that area. But with the technicalities, don't bother yourself too much about the technicalities and the jargons in the system. With time, you would grasp everything.
Okay, Kurt. Thank you so much. So let's jump into the questions on the investment side. So now you've explained what cryptocurrencies are to us. Why should we consider, or why is it considered an investment?
Okay. So basically what I try to do is, for me, I always try to compare current money. Like let me talk a little bit of the evolution of money. We all know many years ago we had to do barter trade. I'm sure we all know what the barter trade system is. There wasn't any form of money. A fisherman wants, let's say, crops. He exchanges fish to a farmer who is growing crops. So I think around 2600 BC, I think the Egyptians discovered gold. We don't know who discovered gold, but it's attributed to them anyways. So they realized that, oh, it's shiny, it's hard to get. So they embraced it. They could mold and kind of like make it into ornaments. It was scarce and everything. So in 1500 BC, people started trading gold internationally. So I think around 700 BC, they started printing gold coins to do away with the whole weighing of gold, so it becomes uniform for everyone to be able to have a P2P transaction. So in the 18th century, that's when we started having what we call paper money. It's called the fiat. So if you hear fiat currency, fiat is not a car. It's called fiat currency. That's how we call it. Now, the fiat currency in the 18th century emerged as, people had gold, and, to be carrying gold around and, exchanging for goods kind of seemed very difficult. So that fiat you are seeing today as money, it used to be form of like a receipt. Someone issues a receipt that, oh, you have so and so gold with me. You can use this as what? As a receipt to go and buy something, as a guarantee. So that was what was happening. But I think it started somewhere in Asia, I think in Japan. That's the fiat currencies. But other people were still trading with gold, so there was a problem. So I think somewhere in 1874, we started having what we call the gold standards. I'm giving a little bit history here so that, you would get to understand me. So we started having the gold standard. So the gold standards was, I think it got to a time where maybe the banks kind of guaranteed you can bring your code, we keep for you, and you can have the fiat money. You can always bring your fiat money and come take your gold. But somewhere in I think World War I, World War II struck, and I think there was a lot of debt. People started printing the money without it being backed by gold, because every fiat paper should be backed by gold, and that's why we call the gold standard. So it actually defeated the purpose. So it crashed. So I think in 1944, there was an agreement. It's called the Bretton Woods Agreement. If you can have time and then go and look at it, where they agreed that the dollar will be backed by gold. So with that event, what also happened was gold, the dollar was termed as the primary reserves. So let's say the Ghana cedi will be pegged to the dollar, but then the dollar is backed by gold. And we also saw the creation of two organizations, which is the IMF and then the World Bank. So the IMF was just there to, help with funds. Everyone would contribute into a pool. Should the nation have crisis, you could go and then borrow money, which I think Ghana, we frequent there a lot. And then we had the World Bank, to set up projects to help developing countries and poor nations. But in 1971, the then President Nixon, I think it's Nixon, he said, he won't allow the dollar to be backed by gold anymore. He scrapped the whole idea of money being backed by gold. So this led to the end of the fiat money being backed by like something which, is tangible. So you can imagine, as it stands now, money is not backed by anything. Any government can stand up and print money, and then it's basically backed by you believing in it. Now, money runs by, it's by faith. I believe the dollar, should it be 6.6 Ghana cedi? Like, that's how we are running money. We've always had issues when it comes to money. So getting to a point where someone comes with an idea where money somehow could reach the hands of everyone. It's not controlled by a government. The government cannot deflate it. You just imagine you having, let's say, 3,000 Ghana cedis, which some years ago was equivalent to, let's say, $1,000. And in a couple of years, as times two, you would need 6,000 Ghana cedis to actually purchase $1,000. So you realize that some activities of these governments somehow depreciate money. So people are seeing cryptocurrencies as a safe haven and are pegging they are converting their fiat money to kind of like save, their fallen currency. It's currently happening in Turkey. The Turkish lira, the Nigerian, their naira, most of these currencies are depreciating very fast. So when it comes to seeing it as a form of investment, number one, for me, I see it as a technology which has come to stay. I know there are a lot of negatives and scams in this ecosystem because it's not regulated. Most governments are even trying to find what it means. They do not understand. So they just wake up and say, we are banning this, we are banning that. The funny part of it is no one can ban this because it's running on a blockchain, which is not owned by anyone. It's an internet thing. I don't know how you can ban something on the internet when you don't even know where it's placed. So they are just, a lot of people are creating false rumors, or it's not. It's just like in the days of when computers emerged. We were all confused. What's this small shiny box there? And then, we had a lot of fads about it, and then what's this? It would reach anywhere, and then now everything we do, you would have to use a computer. Now, when it comes to money, cryptocurrency is the next big thing. And the thing about cryptocurrencies is it's not just you buy and then you wake up and then tomorrow, let's say you buy Bitcoin and then, Bitcoin goes to 67K and you are happy. There's so much it does. Most of the coins, especially some of the coins we have in there, have utility. Now, when we talk of utility, as in you can use the coins for real life transactions. Let me give an example. Let me see which coin. When you look at chilies, let me give an example. There's a coin on a blockchain. I think it's on Ethereum, which is chilies. The ticker name is CHZ. Ticker numbers are just acronyms for the coins, which is CHZ. Now, this chili, they've built what we called an app called socios.com. Now, socios.com is more like, it's an app where they are bringing together, the sports companies, the teams, Barcelona, Manchester City. They are bringing the NFA and all these sports activities together. And then what is happening is they are trying to bridge the gap between the fans and the company. Now, assuming you have, let's say you own chilies. Now, what they are trying to do is with chilies, you can buy tokens. Let me use Basa as an example. So with my chilies, I can go and buy, let's say 5 tokens of Basa. Now, with the 5 tokens of Basa, what they've done is they give you rights to take decisions with regards to the team. So when you have time, you can download the app and, read about it. Something cool. For once in our life, fans can actually make decisions in the club. You would realize that they do have voting this thing, and then at times they will just post there, okay, do you think we should sack our coach? I'm just giving us an example. So they leave it out there for fans. Now, of course, you have these tokens. You have the power to vote that, okay, yes, let's kick out this coach because he's not performing. Then all we could do is what? All we could do is to just talk, let's sack this coach, let's sack this coach. Now they are giving you the power through the blockchain and then through decentralized, way of doing it. You can actually cast your vote. And because it's on the blockchain, they know it's authentic, it's reliable. You can't tamper with it. It kind of brings, the team and the fans together. There's also another app called the Brave browser. Now we are in a world of we are currently in what we call Web 3.0. I think with time I would explain that, in the sense that people have built the browser app, which in a way blocks advertisements from third parties. We have trackers monitoring you. At times you'd say something and the next minute you go on Facebook, it's showing you an ad of something you just spoke about to someone. Now with the Brave browser, it blocks all these trackers. And what it does is it actually pays you in cryptocurrencies for using the browser. Now, why would someone pay you money for using your browser? I've been using Chrome. I've been using a lot of browsers and they have never bothered to say they are paying me money. Now, because it's run on the blockchain and they are blocking all these third parties where they find ways to, show you ads and everything. By blocking, it attracts investors to the browser. Mr. Browser, please, I have this company and I'd want to advertise my products to you. And then I would want you to show it to, people using your browser. So now to show it to me, the browser is also saying then you would have to, incentivize, my people. You have to pay them for them to view or for them to, click on show me advertisements. You would have to compensate them. So currently, if you start using Brave browser, you realize that you will be paid every month in what we call the BAT. It's also the ticker for BAT. You would see BAT, which I've been using for quite a time, and then I've been accruing BAT. And this BAT, you can actually transfer to an exchange and you sell and you get money.
Now this is scarily what's happening, and there are so many utilities. When you look at Polkadot, Cardano, Shiba Inu, there are so many of them. So many of them. So it's not only as as a crypto, you buy and then the fun aspect of it is because there's mass adoption. The people are actually buying. There's a likelihood that it would skyrocket and you would make money off of it. Other people have long-term strategies. They are just buying and then holding them. On a long term, they make money. Others are doing short trades. So depending on your strategy. But another side is the security aspect of it. You would have to learn the tips on how to protect your funds because that side is very important. Now, I'm sure one would ask, how do I get started? Okay, let me just pause a little bit.
Yeah, if I may be more direct, so usually we understand investments as something you buy or an asset you acquire with the hope that it would gain in value or it will accrue you some income so that you can make profit. So in terms of cryptocurrencies, how do we get to see that growth in our investments? Or what does it take for us to say that, oh, really, I put some money down to buy cryptos and it's an investment that has yielded something for me?
Okay, so let me just put it this way. See these crypto assets just as the stocks market, commodities, and all those stuff. It's kind of similar. The only difference is one is regulated, one is unregulated. There are a lot of scams, in that field. It's just as if you own a Tesla stock, bear in mind it can drop, it can go up. It's just like Coca-Cola, but progressively, when you look at the charts, they do go up. A lot of people do panic at times and then they close their positions. Now, when you do that, you would definitely end up, losing a lot of money. And currently that's what's happening in the crypto ecosystem. We have terms such as, the FOMO. The FOMO, you see a term as FOMO, it means fear of missing out. People will just get ecstatic and like, I have to quickly buy. They said Bitcoin is going up. Trust me, it is a wrong thing to do. Don't just jump in because someone told you Bitcoin would make you a millionaire or a billionaire overnight. Yeah, some people made a lot of money. People do make a lot of money, but a lot of people have lost. And these stories are not told. Because just last month, one Bitcoin went to 69K. And imagine going to borrow money from the bank and you bought at 59K and it's now dropped to $42K. That's a lot of money. That's like almost half of your money gone. But then the thing about it is you only lose when you sell the asset because your one Bitcoin is still there. But once you sell, you would lose. But a lot of people panic. We call them panic sellers. Because it's dropped, they are panicking. Hey, what if now it's going to drop to 2K? Once you don't understand, you just sell and then you've lost. And in a couple of weeks, it goes back up and then you're like, oh my God. So there's a lot of doing your research before you start investing. So when it comes to the field, it's just like Tesla. Elon Musk owns Tesla, right? At times, he can just come and then say something. Oh, we've had a technical hitch, blah, blah, blah. We are calling all our... Once he does that or he tweets something, funny enough, some way, somehow, you'd realize that Tesla stock would just drop. I'm sure most of you saw what happened with Coca-Cola. When Cristiano Ronaldo, Coke was placed in front of him. Look at how the fact that he moved Coca-Cola in front of him on the side. Coca-Cola stocks just dropped. And if you were in it, a lot of people lost money. It's the same way in crypto. Most of these whales, we call them the whales, most of these people who are buying these cryptocurrencies, they want that to happen to make money off of it. So you realize that they even pay bloggers, they pay the media outlets to publish fake news. You see some news like the US government is banning crypto for good.
You as an investor would panic. Okay, let me go and sell my crypto then. The more people are selling, what happens? Supply, there's more supply, and then basic economics, the prices would start dropping. At times, we would have good news. We would have big tech companies. Currently, Samsung just partnered with Cardano. You realize, Cardano will just shoot up. But as it stands now, cryptocurrencies is at its infancy, and it's a technology which, if you really look into it, it is huge. It is big. Which for me, I would advise everyone to do. You would have first and foremost have to do your own research. Don't bang on, my talk and say I'm going to, pump in money. Try and understand what it means from the ground up. Go and read Satoshi's white paper. What is this guy saying? What was he trying to solve? Are you sure my funds are safe? Because there are types of even wallets. We have wallets, even saving your money in exchanges. Some exchanges are not reliable. They can fold up and then your money is gone. So a lot of people are moving into hard wallets where their wallets are off the grid, as to mean it's not on the internet. Yeah. So for investing, a lot of people are making money. They are investing on the long term. Others are scalping. Scalping means they just wait for it to go up and they sell off. They take their profits. They wait for markets to, go down. They buy low, they sell high. They buy low, they sell high. Others are also going in the long term. People have investment frameworks as to which coins to buy. You'd have to understand and follow all these projects. What projects are they coming up like? That's with the blockchain, Solana and co. What projects are they coming up with? Is it good to invest in this project? Yeah. So basically, that's the whole. Yeah.
Kurt.
Okay. David, just a second. I just want to ask a few follow-ups to this. So, you mentioned Cardano. You've mentioned Bitcoin. What are the other popular cryptocurrencies that people can consider? And how do you determine which one is good for you? And what are the differences?
I would want to give a disclaimer. Basically, I would say this is not financial advice. In a crypto space, anything can happen because there's no regulation. But I would say the top coins you can look at is Ethereum. The ticker number is ETH. Ethereum is very powerful in I would say it's a generation 2 blockchain, and its cryptocurrency is called the Ether. Now, the problem it came to solve is it's embedded in it with what we call a smart contract. A smart contract has to say, how Bitcoin solves the problem of, just only, currency moving money from point A to point B. Now, this young boy, he's even a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old boy, came up with the idea of why don't we have a peer-to-peer contract? People could have contracts by themselves to do away with lawyers, accountants, and all these people who try to chip into business model just to make money. So he developed a blockchain where you can build a smart contract for two parties. Just an example would be, let's say I'm into real estate and I want to buy a house. Someone could just build an app and then build a smart contract. Once you deposit this amount of, let's say Ethereum, the deeds and contracts of, everything pertaining to the house is given to you. So both parties have, labeled their clauses in there. So once party A fulfills, what party B is asking, it immediately executes. So there's no kululu or there's no cheat in it. So he built that, that concept where people can build smart contracts. He's even replicating the whole financial system where people are now being able to lend money. People are borrowing money on the blockchain in Ether. You finish and then you can make, like, people are really making money
off of it. So Ethereum is like, I would say the top coin, you should look at. We have Cardano. Cardano is doing a lot because his blockchain is more, he's taking his time to build it, and he's solving a lot of problems. I would entreat you guys to go to the main websites, that's Cardano websites, or you can go to CoinCap Markets. They have a list of all the coins that have been published. They give what these coins are about and the unique aspects of it, what it intends to solve, and the price. The prices, the current prices. It gives you a graph of how the prices have have been trading for 5 years, 2 years, 3 years. So Cardano, Polkadot, actually, problem it solves is it bridges blockchains, different blockchains together. You look at how let me explain the web 1.0, how we've moved from web 1.0, web 2.0, and we are now at web 3.0. When we had computers couldn't interact with each other. It was just static. You could just read documents. There wasn't anything like you can place arts and everything. It was just a bunch of HTML files you just read. If it's in your room, it's in your room. It's a big box in your room, and that's it. That was the web 1.0. So we got to web 2.0, which in a way we are facing out now. With the web 2.0, we got to a stage where you can actually, have videos, motions, it's more interactive. You can see things in 2D perspective. You have the big tech giants, Google, Facebook, and all of them taking your data, repackaging it and selling it back to you based on, your demographics and a whole lot of characteristics as a person. Every day, Google knows where you are, what you've been talking about, where they know a lot of things. So they sell this to, advertising agencies, and then they make money off of it. So now web 3.0, blockchain is saying enough of it. Why are you only making that money? So the web 3.0 makes it decentralized. It cannot only be for Google or Facebook. We are blocking all of you. It has to be for all the community. So what web 3.0 seeks to do is it gives power to you, as I explained with the Brave app. I have power. Google cannot track me. I can sell the data myself. Google cannot find a way and then be tracking me each time I type something on the internet. Maybe you want to, you need some gift for your hubby. The time you realized Amazon is showing you something that you can buy it here. The time you realized, oh, there's a nearest gas station here. Like they keep on, and it's funny. But with web 3.0, that cannot happen because of, the technology called the blockchain. And cryptocurrencies are run on it, for partakers in the ecosystem to all benefit. Yeah. So I think that's something which the government doesn't like. Power is being taken from them. They are even scared it gets to a time where the blockchain would be part of our voting system. Each and everyone would have a digital identity. And the blockchain doesn't lie. If we voted for, let's say, party A and party A has won, it has won. You can't go and nag about it. You can't go to court. And that's what I think Cardano is currently doing. So you realize some of the governments don't like the idea that, money, the power is actually going to be taken from them. And people are doing crazy projects that somehow, some way, the government or certain centralized bodies will be rendered useless. Yeah. So that's how I see it. When you're investing, you'd have to do a lot of research. You'd have to take it from the ground up, understand what blockchain is, get into the individual cryptocurrencies, and then you can download an exchange. In order to partake in it, you need to download an exchange. We have Binance. Binance is one of the top exchanges currently. They're doing massive work. We have Coinbase. We have Gate.io and a lot of them.
Some of them are very, you'd have to do a research. Some exchanges fold up and they steal lots of, people's money. But currently the top two, Coinbase and then Binance. But the Coinbase, for instance, you cannot use currently in Ghana, you cannot use Coinbase because Coinbase in the US is based in the US. Now crypto is being taxed in the US. And what Coinbase is it's actually doing is it feeds, the government or the RSI, your data, and you'd have to go file and pay your taxes. With Binance, in Africa, currently crypto is unregulated. People are not paying taxes. It's kind of easy and flexible using Binance. Their native token is BNB. Once you are holding BNB, you get slashed, the commissions. So that creates a utility there. And if you go to the chart, it skyrocketed. I think somewhere last year, BNB was around $100 and something. It's currently around $400. So if you had bought BNB somewhere last year, a lot of them, you'd have made money. Most of the coins skyrocketed somewhere last year when the likes of Elon Musk and Michael Saylor and, Mark Cuban, the big tech, guys came on board. And now even institutions are buying them. We have Domino's buying Bitcoin and accepting Bitcoin to buy pizza. We have AMC theaters in the US. You can actually go watch, movie if you have Bitcoins. Like now everyone is getting on board. So it gets to a time where if there's mass adoption, the prices would skyrocket, and no one can actually print more of it. So it makes it a super asset. A lot of people are actually, saving their money in Bitcoin to protect themselves against inflation. As I said earlier, some currencies are just not doing well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that answer. So we'll hear David's question and then we'll go to Sarah. David, please go ahead. Hi, David. If you are speaking, you are muted. Okay, I'm sure he's caught up in something. So let's skip David for now, and then we'll hear from Sarah. Oh, sorry, Prince. Do you want to say something?
So, Kat, I know you've talked about a lot of things in the crypto space. I wanted to find out something from you. Each day and every day we have a lot of this new altcoin coming into play, where we have a lot of ICOs that happen where people have to buy some initial stake in the at the launch of the altcoin. I wanted to find out, there are some sites that you can go and get information about this altcoin. I don't know if you can help us with some of these sites to get information at this altcoin, because most of, as you said, that you need to do your own research to know the kind of project that you are going into. Can you recommend some places where you can get information about if maybe this altcoin is coming? You can get information about the altcoin and whether to invest in and not to invest in the altcoin.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prince. I think let me start from most of the times when people are starting projects, when some of these developers are building a blockchain or starting building a cryptocurrency, what they start to do is we call something airdrops. So once they develop the cryptocurrencies, they have to give some for free. It's as a way of, a marketing strategy to what promotes the coin. And these people somehow would also, in a way, be marketers, tell other people to what? Hey, there's this coin coming up, you have to go get it. And the reason why they do that is they know the more mad people, jump on it, once he has a bunch of tokens, the price of that token, the more people coming in would go up. So you can actually get cryptos not by even investing. You can get cryptos by what? Airdrops. I think currently your go-to site when it comes to cryptocurrencies is CoinCap Market. No, it's Coin Market Cap, sorry. CoinMarketCap.com. It has everything. It talks about when you pick, you would see what is even the ranking, what coin you can filter and then know the coin which is most highest grossing coin or to the lowest, the new coins that are coming in. They even highlight airdrops. You can actually get airdrops if you don't want to invest money in it. Currently Coin Market Cap is even doing what we call diamonds. Every day you just wake up and then you just click on a diamond and then they give you diamonds for free. They've started this in such a way that in future the diamonds you've acquired can be used to purchase NFTs or even some merchandise of theirs. You made mention of ICOs. Just for listeners, the ICO is called Initial Coin Offering. It's more of like, let me compare it to IPOs. I'm sure most of you are privy to IPOs, and that's in the traditional world. Now, the difference between an IPO is, if you want to list your company publicly, that's in real world, you have to publish. Hello?
Hi, Kurt. Have we lost you? Hello. Okay. Can anyone hear me? Just to make sure.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, I guess we have lost Kurt for a second. Maybe it's some technical issues. So we'll circle back. While we wait for Kurt, would anyone want to share any other thoughts they have on their experience with cryptocurrencies? Sayram, you had wanted to say something, so perhaps this
Yes.
will even be
Hi.
a good time.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So it would have been good to have Kurt listening in. I wanted to ask him a question, but notwithstanding. So I use Binance. For my strategy is, so I buy crypto selected coins every month. I don't trade them. I know some people make money from trading it. I am buying mostly for the long term. And so what I do is I invest about 5%, not up to 10% of my portfolio is in crypto. So I usually would do the big the stable I in Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, I think I have BNB, and then yes, two other stocks. Another, as I mentioned, I use Binance. Once some of the options on Binance allows you to kind of do something like a fixed term for in simple words, like an FD. So those are also options that you can explore with your coins. That is, if you're not trading it. So sometimes I stake it for 30 days at an interest rate. And sometimes, even today, because I had some cash, some USDT on my wallet, I was able to use it for, I think I've invested it for one day. I think at a rate of, is it 10% or so? Yes. So those are options too that people can explore.
Okay, interesting. Investing monthly. So I guess that is regardless of the price that it's going at, right? So you have a steady program every month.
Yeah, so I just do the cost averaging. So regardless of the price, I buy. So regardless of the price, eventually it averages it out for me.
Okay, sounds like a good strategy. Like a good strategy. Mimi was asking me, was it earlier this week about mentioning how she does cost averaging, or she was talking to someone who does cost averaging. So that is it in practice. Okay, Prince, let's hear from you, and please check the feedback when you are speaking.
Is it okay? Is it better?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so my so far I've also been a fan of crypto. and I've also made some money out of it. So normally what I do is
I think my phone just shut down, and yeah, I had to reboot it. Sorry about that. Yeah.
okay.
Okay, no problem. Welcome back. So Prince was just giving a submission, and then we would. Sayram has a question from you, so let's hear from Prince, then we'll go to Sayram.
Okay. So Kurt, it's great to be back. So I've been a fan of crypto for some time now. I've made some cool money out of crypto, and I was trying to share with my other colleagues how I go about mine. So I normally do a lot of ICOs. Normally, when it's about to go public, I buy a stake in it and then I hold. I don't know if Kurt, you remember Elon Musk tweeting that his new altcoin is going to be called Floki. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, key.
Yes, and within that week, Floki skyrocketed. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I do. I do remember. I do remember.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So I think it was actually a friend who had bought it and was like, from his own research, it's going to be a good coin, and so I should also look at buying it. So I just bought about $100, and I was, and within the period where Elon Musk talked about it, I checked my wallet and I was sitting around $1,000.
Wow.
That was just based on that. And I also normally use coin list. Most of the project coin list are also very great projects, because normally they kind of like, when you buy the initial coin offering, they lock your offer, the token should, but they lock it for a period of time. So you don't have people coming in to buy the stake. When the price go up, then they sell and then they are off the market. Most of the people in the space are in the crypto space. Most of them are for short-term gains. So they buy the coin when the price go up, then they sell. Then those that are in for long term, that the impact affects you, because it's always about the interplay of demand and supply. So CoinList is also another site that I use that come up with great projects that is backed by real something which is real, so that that can help you buy a stake in it. And it's something that I wanted to share with everybody who can also look into it if they're looking at. And I'm looking to Kate to get to learn more about the NFT, because I know it's now something which is very hot. And if you can also throw more light on it, I'll be very grateful. Thank you.
The NFT, with the NFT, I wouldn't say I haven't dived deeper into it, but I do understand that the reason why it's not of interest to me, it's more, it's more centered around the artists, musicians who in a way have issues, who have always had issues with copyrights and all of those things. It's not really for everyone, and people are actually making a lot of poor investment choices. The NFT simply means non-fungible tokens, and you would have to understand what fungibility is to get to understand what non-fungible is. If we say something it's fungible, it means it's exchangeable. Say you can exchange currencies. Having, let's say, $1,000, you can exchange with a 6,600 Ghana cedis. It means it makes it fungible. The other time I was trying to explain to Mimi, as when we talk of something which is non-fungible, you can't exchange Mona Lisa, the painting of Mona Lisa, to something like to another asset of of the same class. Let's just take it. Let's say your dad gave you a jacket. Let's say it's a Nike jacket, and then fine, the same jackets are in the store which you can go and buy. But you realize, because it's from your dad, it makes it unique. And if someone is to probably burn or spill milk or something on it and it gets ruined, the person can just write it off and say, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get you some. It's sold for, let's say, $100."
it's non-fungible to you because you have this attachment to it. It's unique. You realized how, let's say, if Michael Jackson signs on your let's say on your hat, maybe that hat you bought it for $50, but once he signs it on it, it's not an ordinary hat. It's not fungible. You can't go and exchange, you know, with another hat from where you bought it. It becomes non-fungible. So blockchain actually solves the problem where you can actually replicate this whole thing on the blockchain, where artists could create an artwork and then they can tokenize it, and somehow you can authenticate who created that asset. If someone is to purchase, you can see the chain of owners. They've even gotten to a stage where you can even put commissions in it. So it does away with that auctioneer, people auctioning rare materials and items, trying to authenticate the authenticity of an artwork or an item which is rare. And in Africa, some way somehow we don't really appreciate art and a whole lot of those things. People are just scribbling something on the internet and selling it for $1 million. And for me, some way somehow I don't it doesn't interest me. But there are actually use cases. It solves problems. It solves some problems, especially with the music, with artists, people doing music and selling records. They are actually using it to they're actually minting NFTs and selling it directly to users. They don't have to sign in on a record label. Once you have an NFT of theirs, they give you rights that, if you have an NFT of so and so artwork, you can maybe come to his live concert. And at the end of the day, all these funds and everything goes directly to him. So there are more use cases, in the NFT, but I'm not really, really dive people's work and I'm minting it as NFTs, and there's a whole lot of stuff going there on in that ecosystem. But it's cool, yeah. And then I like the aspect that you shared, with the ICO. With the ICO, I was trying to explain the ICOs, that it's similar to what we have as the IPO, listing your company in a real life. You would have to do something, publish something, what we call the prospectus, highlighting all the risks involved in, if you should invest in a so and so company, these are the risks we have. If you go on the internet, you see Facebook's IPO. I think it was around like 2006, 2007 there. The likes of Amazon and everything, like selling shares of their company. In the crypto world, when someone wants to start a project, they have something called the initial coin offering. They would want you to invest. They would want you to give them money, and then in return, they would give you coins. So they are offering you coins to hold. So they need your money to complete the project. And once the project is done in life, you can sell your tokens and you'd make a lot of money, because then the coins will be listed on an exchange and lots of people would buy into it, skyrocketing the prices, just as you made mention of the Floki Inu. A lot of people have made a lot of money. With Shiba Inu, I have a friend who made close to $500,000 on Shiba Inu. And he bought, it wasn't even up to $1,000, because Shiba Inu moved from 0.0000 something to like 0. It came to like 3 digits. He made lots of money. In fact, I had a friend who was like, I'm not interested, but you take this money and open an account for me, buy any coin. And then funny enough, I didn't even buy Shiba Inu, but I used this money to buy Shiba Inu, and he made a lot of money. Somehow, I told him that I'm taking some of the money. So with the initial coin offering, the risk is at times when you give your money to these project developers and they give you the coins and the projects are not fulfilled, it doesn't become successful, your money is gone. You've lost your money. If it's not listed, it's not accepted by any exchange. Osika Ashe, let me put it in quote. So the ICO evolved to what we called IEOs. Now we have what we called initial exchange offerings. Now, an exchange like Binance does that on your behalf. Now, what happens is, if you want to maybe start a project, you go to the exchange, you go to Binance. Binance will say, okay, I have people who are on my exchange, so but then I would have to check to see that your project is legit. You are not going to rug pull. A rug pull are people who kind of like back out of projects, and investors' money would go missing. So the whole IPO and ICO are a form of a crowdfunding mechanism where projects are, they need your funds to develop a project, and they give you in return tokens. So now with the exchange stands in for you when it comes to the IEO, which are a bit safer than the ICOs. Yeah, but fine, people are still going in with the ICOs, which somehow I would say it is risky. Yeah, the ICOs are somehow risky, but people have made tons of money. So yeah, so if you have any other questions, you can just throw it at me.
Okay, so considering the time, we would soon be wrapping up. So let's hear from Seiram, then we'll take some wrapping up questions.
Okay. Hi, Kurt. Thank you so much for the information. I wanted to find, you made mention of exchanges crippling up. I know that Binance, as you said, is one of the top exchanges. As it stands now, all my coins are on Binance. So should something happen to, how do I move it into a wallet? I don't think I have a wallet. I don't know if I have one. How do I ensure that my coins are safe even in the absence of Binance? Thank you.
That's a great question. That's a wonderful question. Now let me talk about wallets in just we have types of wallets. We have what we call cold wallets, and we have hot wallets. Now the difference is, with the hot wallets, any money on the internet, if it's running on an exchange, it means it's on the internet. You can only access when you have internet. So all our funds on Binance and on all the exchanges and on all the non-custodial wallets like Trust wallets are all termed as hot wallets. And because it's on the internet, it's prone to attacks. Not that someone can hack into the blockchain and then take your funds. People are taking funds in this way. If you've signed in on, let's say, MetaMask, I don't know if you've heard about MetaMask, and you've linked, let's say, MetaMask, you have funds in MetaMask, and you've linked to Chrome extension, you're on a site trying to stake something, and a hacker gets a hold of your laptop somehow, they can siphon your funds. Now, what people are trying to do is people are moving from the hot wallet to the cold wallets. Now, the cold wallet is more of like a pen drive. It's like a pen drive stick they've created. We have the Ledger and then the Nano X. You can check it out, where you can move your funds from exchanges like Binance, move all your funds from that hot wallet to a cold wallet. So in that sense, it's safe. You are the only one who has a key to access your funds on the blockchain. Now, having a wallet and funds on it doesn't mean it's actually the money. What happens is, the wallet is just a key for you to get access to your money on the blockchain. It's not like your money is really, really on it. So it has to do with keys, your private key and your public key, which you'd have to keep very safe. Once you open, I know people are saving their password keys on on sticky pads and so many stuff. It's very risky, because if someone gets access to it, trust me, they can exploit, and then get your funds. So for Binance, if you are going in big, you have huge amounts of money, it's not advisable. If you have some, you should actually not have lots of money on Binance. You can move a chunk of it onto a cold wallet. That's more secured. You are rest assured that no one would actually, get it unless you give your seed phrase out or your private key. And I know someone would ask, what if that sticky pen drive cold wallet gets missing? The good thing about it is that's why you have your seed phrase. You can always purchase another Ledger or a Nano X and then recover all your funds.
Thank you. Please, I would see you back door after the program, and then you kindly take me through it. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, Prince, you can go ahead.
Okay, Kurt, with regards to wallets, you know that we have, let's use Trust Wallet as an example. We have the Exodus wallet, and even talk about the MetaMask. Most of them also have their recovery phrase where when you sign on to them, they give it to you to keep in a safe place so that in case of anything, you are moving, maybe you can change device and you need to move, get the wallet on a different device, you can use your seed phrase. That one too, is it risky, and can hackers also get access to it? With regards to MetaMask, Exodus wallet, Trust wallet, and even Coinbase, I know they have a wallet. So if you can say something about it.
Yeah, with the wallets on the exchanges, they are more of custodian. I would say it's somehow centralized. You've literally given, let's say, Binance or Coinbase access to your private keys, and you're trusting them to hold your funds for you. They are literally holding your funds for you. When it comes to MetaMask and these trust wallets, these are non-custodian wallets. It's more like it's not live on an exchange. Now, the way now hackers are exploiting it is, when you want to use, let's say, MetaMask to go buy a coins on, let's say, Pancake Swap or these decentralized exchange,
like Uniswap.
Yeah, like Uniswap, Pancake Swap, and all of that. At times, people download what we call the browser extensions, like Chrome extension. Now, hackers are exploiting these extensions to get access to your funds. And at times, if you don't sign out and someone has actually hacked, your computer, and monitoring all that you're doing, they would just, clear you. And then it's happened so many times. It happened to a friend. All his funds just vanished. You can even Google, I think if you check on YouTube, there's a guy who explains how his funds got vanished and advises. So it's best to even use this browser. I entreat everyone to use Brave browser.
I use Brave. I use Brave.
Yeah, it's safe to use because no one is tracking you. No one can exploit you. And then you always have to sign out or disconnect your MetaMask or any non-custodian wallet once you are done. And your seed phrase, them on. It's really risky. Yeah, there are so many things people are doing that you can, and in this world you can't complain to anyone. You if your money is gone, it's gone. You can't cry to anyone. Yeah.
Okay, interesting points out there. Mimi, you've been awfully silent today. Before I ask Kurt what his closing remarks would be, Kurt, I'll be asking you what you would like people to leave this conversation with, that's at least they can action on, an action point for people. So just you can prepare for that. Mimi, what are your thoughts so far? We've heard a lot about cryptocurrencies and the blockchain.
My brain is running wild. You could ask, say you Ram and Kate have been disturbing them with this whole cryptocurrency, even you, this whole cryptocurrency thing. So I need to take advantage of it. That's all that's going on in my mind. And the question is how, being a financial planner, spending time to, understand. That's what I've been doing a lot. And I will definitely reach out to Kate Kurt has is it a mentorship? I don't know. He can guide you to be able to invest in crypto. He even has some tools that you can use. So if you are like me, who has no clue of what this whole thing is about, you can. It's at a very small fee. So you can reach out to him in his inbox, and once you discuss with him, you take it from there. But I'm definitely starting this year. I think I've added it to my financial goals because I've been too conservative. It's time to make some money. Yeah, so that's my little 2 cents.
Okay, it's time to make some money, Mimi says. Okay, Kurt, what do you have as your closing words for us? Something you want to leave our listeners with?
Okay, thank you very much. And then I hope at least I know it's been a bit technical. I know a lot of people, heard a lot of technical stuff, but I think as Mimi said, I actually had a Binance masterclass somewhere in December. It was for free, just to introduce people to blockchain cryptocurrencies, how to load funds on your Binance account, how to trade. There are crypto loans, there are saving, staking. I ran through a lot of things. I talked about the evolution of money, the technical analysis. I ran through all of that for people to understand. Getting into crypto, you have to understand the basics and you do your research. Don't rely on, any kind of speculative talk. Saitama. People just jump on Saitama and then you would lose money. If you tackle it from that point of view, you are going to lose a lot of money. You have to understand what it means and how you can invest and how you can protect yourself. The security aspect is even important than any other thing, because you have to realize that you are putting your money in it, and you don't invest you don't invest money you can't afford to lose. For me, that's like my principle. You have to start small, invest in a small amounts that if you lose, it won't really be, not, a lot of people are actually pulling their whole savings. They're pulling their everything into crypto, which is wrong. So that's also another aspect of it. And I would say you should look more into it because the world is advancing. You wouldn't want to be, caught back and then boom, a lot of people have made a lot of money and then you had heard about it. You just didn't make an effort to, invest in it. The likes of even the CEO of Apple saying he holds Bitcoin. We have now big people in on Elon Musk. All the big people are actually buying into it. So it should interest you to understand and then at least, invest. You at least just invest in it, because there is a metaverse even coming up. There are so many things, as a Prince said, the NFTs, the metaverse. We have even the gaming aspect of it, the play to earn. These are skyrocketing some of these cryptocurrencies, which I would entreat everyone to look at it. Do your own research and then do not FOMO. Do not have that fear of missing out. Hey, I have to, there are so many things. Do your due diligence, understand the basics of it, and know what you are going into before you invest. I think that's what I would have to say.
Thank you so much, Kurt. You've given us a lot to chew on. I like how you highlighted the fact that people shouldn't invest money that they can't afford to lose. And you've also highlighted the security part of it. It's a big deal. You can't afford to put in your hard-earned money and see it grow only for you to lose it all. So I encourage everyone to do a lot of research to try to understand how you can protect your holdings of cryptocurrency so that you don't lose out. Okay, so you can follow Kurt, just check his profile, follow him so that you can join in on his future masterclass sessions. Maybe he mentioned and some sessions that he's having for a tiny fee. For should I say a Satoshi? fee, a tiny portion. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to check it out. And of course, Money Convos, follow us here on Clubhouse, follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and just so that you can keep up to date with what we are discussing. This year, we promise to have more engaging conversations on very relevant topics for you. So don't miss out and catch us back here on Thursday at 7 p.m. But before we go, it seems Prince wants to say something. So, Prince, jump in.
Kate, I spoke about coin lists. Can you share your thoughts on them, or you've not used them before?
Yeah, Prince, can you come again with your question?
Yeah, I'm saying that I also use coin lists. Coin lists also do a lot of ICOs, and I think last year they came up with Cake, the coin called Cake, which did very well. And I didn't buy Cake because as an athlete, I was new to the whole DeFi project, and the person introducing me was not also willing to do the thing on my behalf. So I didn't buy Cake, but he did, and he made a lot of money about in 5 months when the price was when it even went to about $10. He made a lot of money. So I wanted to find out whether you've used coin list before, and how do you see them when it comes to projects that they come up with?
Yeah, I've used CoinList before, but for me, I mostly like the airdrops, the airdrops.io. I mostly, all I have to do is to just follow their instructions. They want you to follow them, they want you to retweet. You have to do some activities, and then you put in your address. Should it launch, they send you tokens. Yeah, with the coin list, I think a Nigerian friend of mine mentioned about it, how he's made a lot of money from that side. But it seems I wasn't able to, I think I was finding difficulties there. So I haven't really paid attention to, the coin list. But I think since you mentioned it, it's something, I'll be checking out. Yeah. But I mostly like, scavenging for the airdrops. The airdrops excite me. Once it's listed, I just moved from, especially with Gate.io, they mostly list some coins that are not listed on Binance. Once I get some of the tokens on Gate.io, I move them to Binance. Once it's listed, boom, and then yeah. So I'll definitely check it out. That's the coin list.
Yeah, and then Kate, too, I also read something about from a site about the airdrops. They were encouraging people that they should do it with they should not do it with the same wallet that they keep their main cryptos on. So let's say, for example, you have I use Trust Wallets, and Trust Wallet can help you do a lot of multiple wallets. So I have a different wallet that I use for airdrops because according to the publication, they said that if you don't also take time and you use your main wallet for the airdrops, it can happen that you can lose your fund if some hackers get access to through the airdrop. So it's something that I wanted to chip in so that in case you are also going to somebody is doing the airdrop, they can also be mindful of that as well.
Okay, I think maybe this is the first time I'm hearing this, but if there's a possibility of a hacker, using your public address to, get into your funds, that would be like, trust me, I'm not sure cryptocurrencies could survive. The only thing is maybe them knowing your public address has to do with they probably could track your transaction, because if someone knows your public address, they can go on the blockchain explorer and then know how much, like identify you. The whole good thing about the cryptocurrency world is there's this marks on the name, like no one knows who this is. You are just an address. So people are trying to build software, especially the FBIs are trying to find ways to identify who is moving what, especially with the big whales. The whales they are tracking them so as to, chase them to pay taxes and all of that. So, but I doubt public address could be used to, somehow exploit your funds. Well, I don't know, but then these hackers are very, very creative. There are so many tricks, especially with the phishing. People are creating phishing emails. They create fake websites for you to put in your. They will tell you put in your login into, especially Binance. They can even create a fake Binance interface, and then if you're not lucky, you log in your password. Boom, they get access to everything. You should also stay away from public VPNs. You should stay away from social media scams. Oh, send 30 USDT and then we would send you 3,000 rubbish coins. And then you would send and you'd be waiting and nothing drops in your wallet. So these are there are some security, there are some tips you would have to, pay attention to. Yeah, which these are some of the things, I cover when, you take the class. And then, yeah, there's a lot to learn. I'll just say there's a guy on YouTube who breaks it very, like, it's so easy. You can check it out on YouTube, called Whiteboard Crypto. For him, he uses analogies, he breaks it down, he doesn't do technical stuff. So you get to understand what is happening. Yeah, so you can check that guy out. You can also listen to Michael Saylor. He's also one guy who I think everyone is following. Elon Musk also has, some form of advantage, in crypto, because he tweets something and some way, somehow it affects the markets. Yeah, you can follow these people. The CEO of Twitter. Yeah, all these people are, people, you can follow and then just
Kurt,
get, yeah.
do you have a room on Clubhouse where you discuss these things into detail in terms of the investment aspect of it?
Yeah, I recently opened a room that's crypto Afrique. Yeah, I just wanted to try and find a possible way to break down some of these jargons we hear in the crypto space.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's something I started developing, slides to make it interesting and engaging, much more easier than, because most of the rooms, they make it very difficult for people to understand. At times, I even switch to Tree because I feel I'm able to express myself way better in my dialect, so it's more easy to engage with people who understand my language and get to explain it better. Yeah, I'm also doing something with some schools, trying to, engage them, let them know, how money is evolving. Yeah, a lot of things are going to be digitized and, it's very prudent for everyone to, check the space out. Yeah, the government has published, even the Ghana government currently has published that crypto is what it's something, you should run away from. Yeah, these are people who they don't want you to know. There are people calling it Ponzi. There are people calling it whatever they want. But I would say just check it out, know it for yourself what it is. Because it's unregulated, there are a bunch of unethical people there, creating a bad name for it. But trust me, it's one of the greatest technology that we've seen in the 21st century. That's the blockchain.
So as a regulator myself, my one of my biggest concerns is that the whole FOMO thing, everybody and their mama is trying to do crypto. And when I talk to somebody who doesn't even know the difference between a mutual fund and a stock purchase or a CD, and then they want to jump straight to crypto, then I kind of like, it gives me a bit of pause, right? Because in some of your statements, you're saying that the whales can pay people to put fake information out there and it affects the price of it. So wouldn't people want it to be regulated? Because in the stock world, right, or in the investment world, if you're putting fake information out there that's causing a stock to either rise or fall, regulators are going to be all up in your grill about those things. But then in this crypto world where there's so much anonymity and nobody knows what anybody is doing, you can get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally second you here.
And even the gaming aspect of it, people think it's a game, and everybody wants to get into it, but you there's so much to be learned, so much to learn from it before you get into it. But it seems to be the viral thing that everybody wants to be getting into, and I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but I feel like if it was regulated, right, then there'll be a friend saying ways to protect yourself more compared to doing the traditional, mutual funds or stock purchase or whatever it is that you choose to invest in, compared to doing crypto. But it is what it is, I guess.
I get you.
Anyway, I've followed you. So if you do your room to discuss these things further, and if you remember, you can ping me.
Sure.
I'll come in and listen. And only so when you're doing it, I can get, like when I come on there, I'll see that you're on there talking about it. If you can follow me back, because that's the only way I can track, well, not necessarily track, but then see you in a room discussing these things.
Yeah, sure. I'm
Thank you.
definitely going to follow everyone here, and then I second with you about the regulations. Even people in the community are even calling for regulations. And the thing is, it's the regulators themselves and stakeholders when it comes to these financial markets. It's new to them. It's new to everyone. Myself, it's not like I've been in it for like so many years. It's new to everyone. It's so new. Like if you're hearing about crypto now, trust me, you are 5% of the entire population who are actually into it. It's very new. It's think of it as the computer age. You are literally part of the first set of people who understand or have heard about it. A lot of people don't know what is going on, so it's difficult to. I think a couple of weeks back, the US, I think in Congress, they had to call some of these people to come and explain, how they can, tap into, this whole technology, the blockchain, and how they can regulate. Yeah, they are actually, developing frameworks into the regulation. Not long ago, crypto has started, they've started taxing crypto. You have to file for it once you've made, profit. I think it's in Coinbase. It's even something I'm looking at because I'm looking into. Let me say it that way, because it's currently crypto is not taxed in our part of the world. That's in Africa. So, and there are new things coming up. There are new upgrades. It's open source. The whole program on GitHub is open source, and even Ethereum itself is moving from a proof of work concept to a proof of stake. Most of these blockchain are upgraded, on a daily basis. Even some founders of these blockchain are learning from other blockchain developers like likes of Cardano. The Cardano CEO, the Polkadot CEO, they were all part of the Ethereum blockchain, and they split. They saw, maybe, yeah, I think I can create my blockchain and then see things from this perspective. And these are, learned and smart people, you can follow and get to listen to them. Yeah, some of them would make it easy for you to understand. Yeah, I'm sure you would all get the whole the wow moment, and how it's going to solve a lot of problems. There's this coin called VeChain. The ticker name is VET, and the board of directors. One of the board of directors is the head of Louis Vuitton, China. And they have this problem when it comes to them, shipping their merchandise as the whole supply chain. They've identified that they are fake products. People are pushing in fake products, and these somehow are letting them lose a lot of revenue. Now, with blockchain as the VeChain ecosystem, it's going to solve that problem, because people can authenticate if this bag is real, it's fake or not. Walmart, a lot of partnership. Samsung just partnered with Cardano. When you go on Coin Market Cap, you would see the partnership and what it entails. There are a lot of partnership, happening. And once there's a partnership, you realize that people are also buying these coins, these tokens, because it gets to a time you need these tokens. It's a native token for the blockchain. You would need it to purchase something, or you need it to access something. Think of Netflix. Think of Netflix actually jumping onto the cryptocurrency, and then they are saying, okay, if you have this cryptocurrency, you can use this cryptocurrency to pay for subscription. And maybe when they listed, it was 0.00001, and you bought a chunk of it. Trust me, you are going to enjoy Netflix for the rest of your life. And that's what Movie Block has done. When you go on the cryptocurrency, you would see MBL as a ticker number. If you have that coin, you can actually enjoy movies on Movie Block. So these are some of the utilities. You dig deep into it. There's I think Leaf Peer. There's a coin. It's like YouTube, but it's decentralized. People can post and then make money. You talked about the play to earn. People are buying digital assets. They go and then they play, they battle with people, and they take, and then they win assets. Even on what do you call it, on Binance, there's a section where you have battle. You can actually stake your money. Someone stakes his money and you battle. You bet that a particular cryptocurrency will, drop, or it would skyrocket, and whoever wins gets the funds of, the other person. They are so exciting stuff. You can also stake your coins in a pool for people to lend and then borrow, and you make money off of it. You see, so that it creates a very nice ecosystem where, but it also comes with its, disadvantage. Same vice versa with the traditional banking system where, we are paying huge amounts of interest rates, but on crypto, that thing, it doesn't happen. So on both ways, there are advantages and then disadvantages. So there's a lot. If I talk, I would end up talking the whole night. There's a lot, and if I have a class coming up, I'll definitely publish it. I'll open my room. You could join Crypto Afrique. I'll open the room, and then I can. If anyone is interested in crypto, it's easy. You can download Binance, and then I take you through. You can buy some of the coins. Hopefully, when they skyrocket, you can sell, make profit. If you'd want to look at it from that perspective, Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Kurt, for sharing these. You're sharing from your store of knowledge with us. I'm sure a lot of people have picked up stuff that they can use. Helped people considering investing in crypto. I know Mimi definitely has enjoyed herself and has picked up a thing or two. So we look forward to joining you in your rooms when you open them up and have conversations about cryptocurrency. So please do ping us in when you do, and we'll share it so that our audience can also join in on these conversations so that we can keep it going and do more research on this. Thank you everyone for spending your Thursday evening. In Ghana, tomorrow is a holiday, so it's going to be a long weekend. So for those in Ghana, I wish you a wonderful weekend. For those around the world, I wish you a profitable and productive end of the week and a good weekend ahead too. Catch you next week at 7 p.m. on Thursday GMT. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night, Papa. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Kurt, good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kurt.
Thank you, Mimi. I see you tomorrow. We have a meeting.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our thoughts. I hope you learned a thing or two and start practicing. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, and Facebook. And subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. Do tell a friend about Money Convos so we all become wealthy together. Talk to you soon. Bye.